Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we have the Megalife Zen 1 and I'm excited about this device because it is essentially a Cat S22 but with no access to distractions. The company has revamped this device, as I have said, with a little bit of new hardware, new software, and an app store that is restricted only for utilities and no distractions. So if you have been looking for a device that is Android based, it still allows you to keep some conveniences, but no distractions. I highly recommend that you take a look at this device. I have been testing the keypad for the past month and a half, a little bit since I got it, and it has not give out, so it still works perfectly. There are some applications that you can only navigate with the touchscreen. Other ones you can do so with the keypad, like right here, as you see, there are the icons, they're moving and you're going to be able to create a note right here. The TT9 keyboard has remained perfect and the double keys is not happening so far. This is a month and a half of usage, so I'm going to continue updating if that changes, but it seems that they have fixed that software issue and hardware issue from the keys. And right here, for example, we have triple click, and as you see, you can type hello and this is a note. You can also enable the T9, as you see right there, it now says English. And in this case, is going to do predictive text. So this is the predictive text engine. Predictive, there it is, text. And you are going to be able to type much faster, especially if you're, over time you develop that dexterity. There are also other options in the TT9 app, so it is not just for English, for the English language, but you can load different ones. So you have English, you have Arabic, you have Bulgarian, you have Catalan, you have Deutsch, you have Espanol, you have Francais, you have, right there, Italiano and Bengali. And I mean, there is a lot of languages, and the community just continues to make it better and better. Even some languages from Asia, like Korean, Japanese, or Chinese, which are not as common. And that is something that you don't see in a lot of devices, especially those that are locked down. But the inclusion of TT9 makes this device an excellent transition. You also have WhatsApp. Give me 1 second here. I wanted to make sure that there's no information. So here we have the WhatsApp chat. It's just a regular WhatsApp chat that you can send. And you are going to be able to also have most of the features. So you can do video call and voice call, but they restrict other features, like, for example, the community feature. I'll show you here. There is no updates. This updates, which is kind of like a social media based area, it doesn't display anything. And I know there are some things on that tab on my regular smartphone, on the minimal phone for my work device, and they restrict it, I believe, because it's kind of distracting. So that is definitely a plus. You can make calls and you can do your text messages via WhatsApp. You also have access to a few other apps via their store, and you go to the Megalife store, and that's where you get the apps. And of course, you have right here, for example, banking, and you have communication, which is where you get WhatsApp, and they keep it updated. You have Google Voice, Gmail. You also have Outlook. There are also some banking apps like American Express, Bank of America. There's an authenticator right there for Outlook. And you also get a few other niche, maybe bigger banks and some smaller banks, depending on what you need. This device also comes with transportation. It comes with Android Auto. I was able to test it finally. So before, I just talked about it, it worked. But now I've been able to test it on a road trip and it works perfectly. You also have Lyft, MoveIt, which is a transit app. And as you see right here, you're going to be able to go into the MoveIt app and get closer to the bus. Or let's say that you want to go to a specific location like Union Station. It's going to map your location, and then eventually it's going to tell you, like, okay, you can go in an Uber, you can go in this route. It's going to cost you $3. For example, here, like, let's take the 0 and the D line, and you're going to get there in a certain amount of time. They also have added Waze, and you have Lyft and Uber, which work, and you are able to open it up and get, some of the pickup locations and whatever it is that you're trying to get to. So those are added bonuses, again, utilities, not distractions. So what do I think so far? This little update that I am able to give you is that the device definitely comes with useful apps. And while the price it is up there, I think that it warrants it because number one, when I first bought the Cat S22, it was I believe $279 when I bought it. This device is definitely expensive, so I don't think it's for everybody. But given the apps that they have included, here is a offline music app that I definitely like, and I like to see more apps like this one. As you see right there, you have access to folders, you have access to labeling all of your recently played music, most played, all music, etc., etc. All of these are very small but needed improvements to the experience. The thing that I take this over the Cat S22 is that it has Android Auto. It has the ability to run a few extra apps without the distractions. And again, it's built by a team that seems to care. So I have been in conversation with them, a few emails here and there. I have been seeing that their applications continue to stay updated over the last month. So every time I get an update, for example, on my minimal phone, my work phone for WhatsApp, you can see an update right here on the communications app and going to the WhatsApp version. So having those little updates and removing some of the distraction, there are some medical apps as well. So if you need that, this one I believe is for people who have diabetes. So it has that. And I think the other part is this area of support, which you can contact them and maybe say like, hey, you know what, there is this app that I'm interested in. I want to give you some feedback on this. So you enter your name, you enter your email, and then you enter a little message about the things that you maybe are saying like, hey, you know what, this app, does it conform to your standards, or can we add it into the device so that I'm able to use it? So, and I think it's a responsive team, people that are willing to at least give it a chance and listen. I'm not saying that they're going to add every application available and known to man, but the performance of the device has been good. Having the Google Messages app, being able to pair it with another device, having WhatsApp, having these little utilities, I think it helps those of you who may not be ready for a full transition into a device that doesn't have any of these conveniences. And it allows you to keep, some of those nice things, those niceties and apps that the smartphone world has without any of the distractions. Here's the weather app. As you see, everything has been working very responsively, and the battery life is another thing that has been solid. It hasn't been the best. It's not the best battery life I ever experienced. Right? It's not something like the e-ink screens of the minimal phone or something like the Mudita, right? Like, so those are definitely better battery life. But for what the device is doing, 2 to 3 days of battery life with moderate use, with minimal to moderate use, and 1 to 2 days with heavy use, I think is a warranted amount of battery life. When you get to keep two-factor authentication, you get to keep your calendar, you get to keep transit apps and maybe maps. So this is definitely a device that is worth looking into. They are also looking into, hopefully in the future, reducing the price. But as of now, this is just kind of like the components that they have improved on the Cat S22 and the software that they're improving and keeping updated. It's a team that's trying to stay alive and make a profit. So definitely one of my favorite devices so far that have come from the kosher community. It seems that there is a practicality about it, and there's a team behind it that is at least willing to, understand some of the needs from people. So if you have any questions about this device, make sure to put it in the comments below. I have enjoyed it so far, and these updates and having been able to test pretty much everything over the last month and a half, almost 2 months that I have had the device, is something that is quite appreciated from this team. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video, and probably a few extra updates before we get one of the most anticipated phones, the side phone. But that's pretty much what's going on so far. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.